So, tonight on Feature Friday, we are going to explore this foot right here. It is the 7-hole. Come on in focus, baby. There we go. The 7-hole cording foot. There we go. I just had it too close. Pretty cool. They make a 3-hole, a 5-hole, and a 7-hole. When I demoed the circular attachment, I had the 3-hole cording foot, and we used that in that one. So tonight, we're going to use the 7-hole, because actually right now I don't have the 5-hole one, so we have no other choice. But they all work basically the same way, okay? So the cording I'm going to put in through here is, I love thread. And I like heavy thread, like 12-weight thread. So what I'm going to use tonight in this is this right here. Check it out. This is from Wonderfill, and it's called Dazzle. It's a 12-weight thread. Check it out. Nice and thick. I like sparkly thread, right? I like bling. I love to use this for embellishment. And I'm going to embellish a little bit on my quilt top tonight to demo this. So I buy a lot of this stuff because this is also what I use for my serger loopers when I'm doing really cool techniques in my serger. You can actually sew with this thread at a slow speed with a size 100 needle, a 116. Okay. So this is what we're going to use. I already have 7 pieces of this cut off, and I'm going to thread that 7-hole cording foot right here. Okay. So I'm going to move my camera, and hopefully, in a way, you all will be able to see what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay. And all I'm going to do, I'll do one on the camera, and all I'm going to do is put the cording through the hole and pull it out the back. That's all there is to it. Okay? So there's one. I've got 6 more to go. And it might sound like a lot of trouble, but I can tell you, this gives such an awesome, awesome effect. You could use different colors of cording. It doesn't have to all be the same one. And I'm going to do the second one now. And you can use any size cording as long as it will freely move through the holes in this foot. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to my magnifying lens. And I'm going to move this over yet again. Maybe you can keep up with me. There we go. Now you're looking through my magnifying lens on my Altair. And we're going to try this again. Okay. In case you're wondering what I just did, boy, that is really twisty on the end. I could use a threading cradle, but I don't think I'll have to, because it's not as thick like an 8-weight. Okay, I'm going to bend it in half and try it. And that first one went in really easy. I guess I could trim the end of it. That's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm just going to trim the end of it off. Then it should go in much, much easier. Come on, Mr. Thread. And I debated whether just to go ahead and have this threaded But I thought, no, you need to experience this. There we go. It went through the third one. I'll just pull that out the back and just let it dangle. Then I'll pick up another one. Okay. Come on. There you go. Sometimes you just got to talk to them. Okay, so there's 3 of the 7. I'm going to organize these. Get them out of my way. Okay. Okay, 4 more to go. Woohoo. I'm just going to go ahead and trim the ends now since I see that's what I'm going to have to do from those. This is awesome stuff. They make it in a wide range of colors. And if you like to do embellishing, this is the thread for you. Seriously. Okay. And another one. 3 more to go. We're over the halfway mark. Now think of doing, this will make like, almost, it'll look like a tape you've sewn down almost. But think of doing this as a decoration around a neckline, if you're into garments, or a hem, or around the edge of a napkin, around the edge of a tablecloth. I thought I had counted 7. Let's see here. I may have to cut one more. We'll see. Go in there. Just give you a little trim, a little snip. It would help if I, there we go. There we go. Come on. There it is. Okay. There's 6. Where's that 7? Let's see. Do I have another empty one there? Yes, I do. I have 1 more to go. I bet that's you right there. No. Is that you? No. No. Did I drop it? Oh, I see it. It went down on the floor. There it is. Okay. I found it. Now on this cone of thread here, there's 400 yards, so there's a lot of thread on that. Okay. And let me tell you, if you put this in your upper and lower looper on a serger, boy, it really snaps. It is eye-catching and beautiful. Think of a rolled hem with this around a napkin. Or anywhere you would use a rolled hem. Okay, 1 more. And let me do a snippy. Okay. Gotcha. Woohoo. Okay. Now, something I learned a long time ago when using one of these type of cording feet is to do this before you get started and try to, you want to thread the foot before you attach it to the machine. That's number 1. Number 2, what you want to do is pull enough out and tie a knot tie these all together in a knot so it can't come undone. And you can make these strings as long as you want. I cut off about 1 yard for each one. There we go. Now you can see what I've done there. See that knot? And I'm just going to hold them there, kind of straighten them out. Then I'm going to take off my J-foot. I'm going to move my camera a little bit in a different direction here. Okay. Right there. And I have my infamous red Floriani embroidery thread in my upper thread for this so we can see what's going on. There we go. And as you can see, watch this, all 7 easily flow front to back. Okay? And that's what we want. Now, I'm going to select a stitch to stitch this down with. First, boop, 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 where did you go? I see you right there. Okay, so I'm going to bring the camera in front of my screen. Okay. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which one of these do I want to play with? Maybe I don't want any of those. Maybe I want to go to number 2. Oh, I have the lock button on. There we go. Now it'll do it. That always helps. So anyone think a wide zigzag that has a good forward motion to it? That's what we're looking for here. And let's see. How about... I'm just going to go to my quilting menu, and if I have a really decorative cording like what I have in there now, so I went to Q, I'm going to select the multi-step zigzag, okay? And I already had this saved, so it would pull up with these settings all the time for bar tacking, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I want to leave it at 7. I like a wide width, but I'm going to lengthen it up to its default, which is 1 millimeter, okay? This is normally defaults at 5, but I want it all the way across. I want to do it at 7. And I'm going to put this up here so you can see me because I have something to grab and get situated. I'm actually going to do some embellishing on a quilt sandwich. Now this quilt sandwich is the one that we're going to use for our second demo tonight at 8:15, the IQ class. So, let's see, where do I want you? I have my quilt sandwich all basted and everything. It's good to go for later. But I know I want to do this on a seam line, and I'm just going to go over. I had used this for a Solaris demo. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and I did it here on a Solaris Sunday as well for the endpoint stickers. You can see this decorative stitching here. Well, I'm going to do the next seam over from it. And what you want to do, if you're going to start in the center, you want to make sure you have a long enough tail on it so you can thread those and needle those in. Oops, wait. The long tails you can thread and work in between the quilt into the batting underneath. with a needle and thread. So an easier way to do this would be to actually embellish the quilt top before you start the quilting process. But that's okay. We're going to do it this way tonight. It's all good. So I'm going to set this over here. There we go. And once I get it started, I am going to pick the camera back up so you can see it. See the motion. All I am doing, I'm going to drop my feed dogs. I'm going to drop my needle. Okay. And as you can see what I'm doing here, with this one hand, I'm going to hold these cords. And I'm going to go slow. I've got that on about 50%. If for some reason those should tangle, I can just kind of comb them with my fingers and get them to where they'll come out. We ready? Okay. And I'm going to go slow. I'm going to stop for a minute and reposition my hand. Make sure those are nice and going to feed through nice. Because the great thing about this, that foot is going to straighten them out before it stitches over them. Okay? I'm going to stitch it down to the next seam line. Now, if I really wanted these sparkly Wonderful Dazzle threads to shine, I would probably have done this in black where you could not see my zigzag. But I just wanted you to see what that looked like. I'm not pulling on those. I'm letting the machine do all the work, feeding it in. Okay, right there's to that seam line. Now, I'm going to raise the needle, the presser foot, not the needle. Okay, and I'm going to twist this around where you can get a look at it. Right there. There's what we just sewed down. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty awesome. And this really highlights how that multi-step zigzag really works. You can see how it has 3 steps going across from side to side. Now the way it went through was like this. Oops, right there like that. But now, let's say I wanted to turn the corner, okay, and come out this way. So all I would do, I have my needle up, and I'm just going to give this slack so it can turn. Oops. I'll put that back up there. Okay. Now then. And now I'm going to gently pull on it so it takes up any slack underneath and lower my presser foot. And we're going to start down this side. Okay? Here we go. Now I'm not pulling tight on these cording threads because I want those to feed in very naturally. There we go. But I don't want there to be so much slack that it gets caught or makes a loop. So just keep them smoothed out as you go. There we go. And there's that side done. Now we're going to turn it again. I'm going to raise my presser foot. Raise my presser foot. There we go. Give it some slack. See how I just threw that up there to give it slack. And we're going to rotate it again. Okay. Now I'm just going to put my finger through the middle of them and run it down just to make sure it's nice and untangled. And it is. But check this out. Isn't that cool? Look how that glitters. And as sparkly as it looks on camera, it's twice as sparkly looking at it. God, I love this stuff. It is so awesome. Here are all my tails where we started, right here. And you know, a person could get creative and just incorporate these tails into the embellishment. You could actually leave a long enough tail when you get done and untie that knot and maybe put beads on it or something. I don't know. There's so many things you could do to be creative with something like this. But we're going to go down another side. Okay. And let me make sure this is nice and smooth. It is. So this line here, this is where I basted this quilt sandwich. It's about 36 by 36 inches. There's 9 churn dash blocks. Okay, so we're going to go down this side next. I was wanting to catch there a little bit. I had to give it a little bit of help. There we go. Okay. And let's see something here. It's good. Going to make sure this is nice and flat because I've really got it twisted right now. And that's what it's dragging on. So I'm just going to straighten it up here in the harp. Okay. Now just to see what it would look like, I'm going to increase the stitch length. I'm going to go, I think, to maybe, oops. I'm going to go to 1.6 and see what that looks like. It's a little hard to keep my quilt sandwich smooth when I'm holding a camera with one hand. Here we go. We're almost down there. There. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now, do I want to go all the way down there or not? Why not? I would say, why not? No, I don't. I don't want it to look too contrived. So I'm going to come out to the edge of the quilt now. Going to turn it again and get it straightened out really well. And I can see I should have stopped with it on the needle over there. So I am just very slowly, let me get this turned right there, slowly move my needle over to the other side of the foot. Right there. Now, I am going to raise my presser foot because I want that over, I don't want it all the way over there. I want it to cover up that seam, I think. Let's see here. Oh, that wouldn't be bad. Okay, now we're going to do it where it's at. Here we go. Just going to go for it. Da da da. Think of the Star Wars theme song. Da da da. Okay. And let me straighten. There we go. Just going to go out to the very edge here. And that's going to be it. What I'm doing, I'm holding down the tie off button. Okay. And it just cut my thread. Now, I'm actually going to pull out all of these cords with the foot attached. So I'm going to pull them out and see, they're so smooth, they just feed right on through and out without any tangles. Now then, get this set back up here. Okay. Hooey, that was like 3 handfuls all at once. So, ooh, gosh, you know, I will probably be doing a lot more of this on this quilt sample because I really like how that looks. But ignore the danglies. Look what we just did. There we go. And you know, I think I like the longer length better, especially with that red thread. So right up here, oops, this way, right here, this was 1 millimeter stitch length, and this was 1.6 millimeter stitch length. Huge difference. There are so many different types of decorative threads you could use for this. You wouldn't have to use, if you don't like the bling or whatever your project is, this wouldn't work. Let me show you another one that's really nice as well. This is crown pearl. Comes on a spool like this. It comes 100 yards on a spool. It's a beautiful thick, this is an 8 weight. And those will fit through there equally as well. This is another one of the types of threads that I like to use for embellishment. Love this. And believe it or not, this is really a great thread too. This is from Superior. It is called So Sassy. Come on, focus you, so y'all can read this. It's a 12 weight also. 12 weight 3-ply, 100 yards. But you can see that this comes in a plethora of colors, all solid colors. This is also a great thread to use with those cording feet. Now the crown pearl, they have variegated. So check this colorway out here. Isn't that cool? I love my threads. With these type of threads and these machines, you can really make magic. Okay. Then one more I'll show. Oops. Well, that was tangled. Went right to the floor. Back to where I can't get to it. Oh well. So I will just cut this one piece off. And this was another color of that dazzle, like the black that we actually used. Right here. It's more of a pinkish color with sparkle in it. And I love chartreuse. Check that one. And a beautiful, rich royal purple. But it's called Wonderfill. You should check that out. They make great threads for regular sewing as well, For instance, I've almost used this whole cone. This is Wonderfill Ultima. Right there. I use this to sew with and to quilt with. It's got a polyester core, but it's Egyptian cotton wrapped. Produces less lint, but it also gives that really nice cotton matte finish. Strong, strong, strong thread. Okay. Any questions on that? What was the stitch number? That was stitch number Q11 is the stitch I did. That was the multi-step zigzag. It really, yes, Ernestine, it really is gorgeous. You can do some amazing effects with that, not only on a quilt, but think of doing it on a scarf or the edging around a jacket. Think of it around like that braided hem edging around a holiday jacket. There's so many things you can do with that. Hi, Cindy. I'm reading off everybody. Pam, Christina, Jean, Punta Gorda. Oh, I wish I could go to Florida. I need a vacation. And Janan. God, I can't read that. This will be solved next week. Yes, I've used dental floss. Yeah, a dental floss threader would be awesome to thread that with. Thank you, Jacqueline. It is beautiful thread. Rosette from California. I hope you're doing well out there with all that's been going on with the fires and everything. I have a lot of friends out there. Deborah from Texas. Hi. Betty. Howdy. From Tennessee. Awesome. I've been to Tennessee many times, and I almost came this close to buying a mountain house just outside of Gatlinburg. Came so close. Okay. So some announcements to make for next week. Like I said earlier, and for those of you that tuned in a few minutes after that, next week I will be broadcasting with Zoom. Hi, Sylvia. I will be broadcasting through Zoom. So I will have a Zoom link on our group page on next Friday. You can log in through Zoom. We can video chat with each other. It'll be a little more interactive that way. But at the same time, I am going to live stream my Zoom feed into our Facebook group. So if you're watching through the Facebook group and not Zoom, it'll be just like what you're experiencing right now. Okay? I'm excited about that. It's really cool. Also, we are starting, after we close the shop tomorrow, after we close for the weekend, we are going to be resetting the studio here. And it will be, I'm not going to be sharing this room anymore with racks of yarn and all that wonderful stuff. It's going into another location in the shop, and I will have this huge room just for us. And I'm so excited about that because it doesn't look bad as far as me being surrounded by all my wonderful machines until you have to move around tripods and cabling and wires that you can't see that are on the floor, or for the big boom lights and all that stuff. So it's going to be spread out. It'll just be so much better, and I'm excited about that as well. I'm also going to be posting some more classes for October here over the next week. So how many of y'all, by a show of hands, do you have a serger? Do you like to make clothing at all? Just trying to figure out what the interest is. I'll actually do a poll on our page that you can answer if you want to. I just want to make sure I'm hitting on subjects that everybody is interested in. Okay? And that wraps up this session of FEETure Friday. So at 7:15, in about a little over 30 minutes, we're going to start IQ Designer, quilting by the piece in the hoop. And someone asked me earlier about magnetic hoops for the Altair and Meridian. So I am going to share how I hacked my die monster hoop to work with the Altair and Meridian. Okay, so you don't want to miss that. Okay, thank you for tuning in. And, oh, thank you, Joan. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in about half an hour. We're going to close this one out, and then I'll start a new one at that time. Okay, thank you all. Love you. Bye.